I have here the next video for the Gorilla Cooking series. It's going to be Italian sausage and vegetable soup. Now, ingredients you're going to need for this obviously is the sausage, and what I used when we tested it was summer sausage. I have here, it's like an 8 to 9 ounce summer sausage. I used about half of it. I recommend using a quarter to half of it, so 2 to 4 ounces roughly. If you're doing this in a canteen cup, I would say 2 ounces. You're doing this inside a mess kit like I am. This is my personal mess kit. I'm going the larger amount, the 4 ounces. Now, first thing we're going to do, we're going to prep dry ingredients. And the first dry ingredient that I put in here is vegetables. Now, the common vegetables in this, according to the recipes, is carrot, zucchini, onion, and celery. Well, what I had that I could use, fire roasted veggie blend from Mountain House. And this has bell pepper, onion, corn, and black beans. So it has some of what's needed. If you want additional onion, add some minced onion. How much? That's up to you, maybe about a tablespoon. Well, you're probably saying, well, I'm not going to carry around measuring spoons. That's about 1 tablespoon. The USGI spoon for a mess kit, that's about 1 tablespoon in measurement. Now, the recipe also calls for some type of pasta, usually some type of ring, penne, or you can go super cheap, poor people route, use macaroni. That's what I did. I have in there about half a cup of pasta, measured out with my little measuring cup from my set also. This is one of those little general ones that I get a hold of in camping cook sets. They're pretty much useless for drinking from, but they are gradated from quarter cup to full cup. Works for measuring stuff out. And it don't weigh much. It'll fit inside here, no problem. How much water? You have to account for the water that's going to be needed to rehydrate the dry ingredients. And you have to account for evaporation during cooking. And you got to make sure you have enough left that you actually have soup and not some type of casserole or a hot dish. I put in 4 cups of water. And getting this to start to boil. And this time it actually is boiling really good. The last time we tried this, it took forever to get up to a boil. Now, while I would be waiting for this to start boiling, I'm going to cut my sausage up here. Just remember, when it comes to summer sausage, it usually has like a paper on the outside for the casing. You want to dispose of that. And the paper usually just peels off. There we go. And this one's peeling off better. This is a shelf-stable summer sausage that does not require refrigeration. So you can keep one of these in your rucksack as long as it doesn't get too hot in there. You'll be fine. Whatever you don't use of this, put it inside a Ziploc bag to use in other meals. Now, while I'm doing this, I'm basically just trying to get the soup to simmer. to rehydrate the vegetables and hydrate the pasta. How much of the veggies did I use from the veggie pack? I don't think I mentioned it. I used half the pouch. Each one of those pouches of veggies from Mountain House is approximately 1.5 ounces. So I'm using approximately 3/4 of an ounce of vegetables in here for one person. If you're going to feed more than one person, add more veggies. Now, summer sausage is already cooked, so I do not have to worry about frying it. If I'm doing this with fresh ingredients, Italian sausage typically comes uncooked, and you will have to fry it first. So I had 1/2 of it. I used this as my cutting board. Another method, like I showed you, you can just hold it over the top, cut off the slices that you want. Stir this every so often because you want to make sure the pasta will not stick to the bottom. Now, while that's boiling, I'm going to add seasonings. First off, you're supposed to do this in broth according to the recipes you can find online. Well, I'm probably not going to be carrying a can of broth around in the field. What can I use? Bouillon cubes. So I figure for approximately every cup of water you're going to have to add 1 bouillon cube. The recipes call for using either chicken broth or beef broth. I'm going to use chicken and herb broth, one of those. And to add more on the veggie, 2 of the tomato chicken bouillon. So bouillon is part of my normal rations that I have with me. I can use this to just make a broth to stay warm during winter, or I can use it to make a soup base like I am now. You can control the heat when you're doing it over the fire by how far you have it away from it. I gotta control it on the burner here by turning down the settings. When we tried this recently as an experiment, it took forever to get this thing up to a boil, and this time it's doing it fairly quickly. Now, we're also going to add, and this is a normal item that I have with me in the field, garlic powder. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon. Now, if you do not have measuring spoons in the field, which most of us won't, just take your normal spoon and you just want a little pile of it in the bottom. That'll be approximately 1 teaspoon. Now, what makes this Italian sausage and veggie soup is Italian seasoning. If you don't add Italian seasoning, it's just sausage and vegetable soup. Add 1 teaspoon. Remaining seasonings is salt and pepper to taste. Well, I'm going to count that the salt is already in there from the bouillon, so I'm just going to add a little bit of black pepper. Now once this gets up to a boil, a nice hard boil, I should say, not just a simmer, but a hard boil. It'll take about 10 minutes for the pasta to rehydrate. And what you want to do is every so often take out a few pieces of the pasta and get a look at it. See if it is fully rehydrated yet. This is still kind of dark. It's still small size, so this has not hydrated up yet. Now, when we tested this, we found that if you do not stir it every so often, especially when it's over the heat source, the pasta does stick to the bottom of the mess kit or the canteen cup. And I'm going to attempt something here that Ron Stryker mentioned. He said to avoid from losing too much fluid from evaporation, just take it off of the flame about halfway through your cook time, so about 5 minutes. What's the number of minutes we're into this, combat cameraman? Show me with fingers. So now we will cover this. And we will take it off of the heat. Find me a little piece of, oh, I got one right here. Now we're going to let the heat of the water itself rehydrate the pasta. We're going to give it about 5 minutes. So, ingredients on this, like I said, we have in here half a cup of pasta. We have half a pouch of veggies. You want a blend, you know, as many veggies as you want in here. If you get a hold of fresh veggies, be advised it does take a little while to soften them. So you might have to boil them for a while before you're going to put in the pasta. Add in 4 cups of water if you're doing it for one person inside a mess kit. If you're doing this inside your canteen cup, you're going to put as much water in there as you think you can safely have in there for cooking. We used approximately 4 ounces of summer sausage in here, already pre-cooked, a shelf-stable summer sausage. If you're going with canteen cup, figure about 1/4 of one of those larger ones, so about 2 ounces worth. You could substitute beef sticks or pork sticks. I've seen them around sometimes, they're like ham sticks or something. You can substitute that in here also as your sausage. Now, for the seasoning in here, some type of beef or chicken bouillon, and then I add in there also tomato bouillon. Figure 1 for 1, so if you're doing just 2 cups of water, you know, 1 chicken, one tomato. If you're doing 3 cups, I would say like, you know, 2 of one, 1 of the other. If you're doing 4 cups, you can add in 4. I'm just putting in 3 because of the salt level inside the bouillon. Other ingredients, garlic powder, 1 teaspoon, and like I said, if you're not carrying around measuring spoons, use your spoon from your mess gear. This one, the US one, is approximately a tablespoon in size. A teaspoon would be just a small pile down in the bottom. Also add in, you know, not necessarily going to carry this with you unless you're of an Italian background, Italian seasoning, 1 teaspoon. And then salt, pepper to taste. I thought of this as a somewhat simple soup that you could do in the field. To try to be filling. And it's a little bit longer with the pasta, not too much, and we have not lost that much of the fluid doing it this way. I got this tip from Wrong Striker, because the first time that we tried this, we ended up having to add water while we were boiling it. It got down too far, but the pasta had not rehydrated yet. We had to put some more water in and then let it get back up to a boil and finish the hydration process. He recommended go approximately half of the cook time and then take it off of the fire, cover it up, let it sit off on the side. You'll lose a lot less fluid through evaporation this way. I got about 2 more minutes, give or take here. And then Combat Cameraman did not try this the last time we did. Well, today he will be. And I'll use my little secondary bowl here from inside my East German mess kit. And he can eat it from that. And I will eat it just straight from the mess kit itself. So, total cook time on this, preparation and everything, we'll say maybe 15 minutes. 15 to 20 minutes because, you know, it's done when the pasta's done. You don't want to try eating this with crunchy pasta. So, got about another minute by my count here, and then I will check it to see if the pasta is done. And see if this method works that Ron Stryker had given me. To find some other recipes for Canteen Cup, go check out his channel. He does feed those into his content every so often. There are a couple recipes that he has done that he still has to edit and upload, though, if you go check them as of the date that this filming is being done. So, looks about done to me. Combat Cameraman wants to give me a thumbs up, show what it looks like here. It's good. Okay. Now I'm going to share with him. Figure this is about one person's meal's worth. It will fill you up. So I'm just going to spoon him out some of the contents here. Here, so you can get a good look at the contents. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay, you can see it. Now I'm just going to give him some of the broth. And I will pass it over to him. It's going to be hot. Here you go. Use my glove as a hot pad. Okay. We'll let him be our test dummy today, and he will give us a thumbs up, thumbs down, or halfway on what he thinks. It's obviously hot because he's blowing on it before he's trying it here. Thumbs up from Combat Cameraman. So there you go. Canteen Cup, but really mess kit. Italian sausage vegetable soup. Something for you to consider. You can throw together yourself if you want a little bit more of a classier meal out in the field with your hiking, camping, or you're in a resistance movement and you're fighting invading paratroopers or potentially aliens. Now, for all my engineer brothers in the Patriot and militia movements, always remember, essayons.